Hey guys, welcome to our very first episode of The Good, The Bad, and today, now first, a little bit about the man himself. Born in 1976 in Cork, Ireland, the actor broke out in films in 2001 with the film adaptation of the play Disco Pigs. He then broke out onto the international scenes with movies such as 28 Days Later from Danny Boyle, Sunshine, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy as Scarecrow, and of course the infamous Inception as Robert Fisher. He also made known as Thomas Shelby from the hit BBC TV show Peaky Blinders, a personal favorite of mine.
And next year, you will see him in the one of the most anticipated movie of 2021 as Emmett in A Quiet Place Part 2. In this video, we'll be exploring the actor's cinematography, more specifically the less popular or well-known movies from his repertoire. There will be spoilers ahead, so if you do not want to be spoiled, leave. So let's jump right into
Red Eye is a 2005 Wes Craven thriller, and in it, Cillian Murphy plays Jackson Rippler. Anyways, in it, he plays a terrorist who aims to kill the director of the FBI or the CIA, but honestly, that doesn't really matter. It follows the story of Lisa Razart, and she's a hotel manager, and it somehow shows her being entangled with the whole film's conspiracy.
Oh, so fucking cliche.
Yeah. But it is well done this time. Wes Craven manages to capture a thrilling atmosphere as expected of the master. Even the actors have done a really good job, making all the characters believable. For example, Lisa. Lisa is a rather shy girl, but you can see why she has earned her hotel manager position. I would not know what to do at all, like seriously.
But dude, I would have never let a stranger follow me, especially when he asks so many personal questions.
Okay. For the sake of the story, it's kind of understandable because, it's Cillian Murphy. He's so good at being attractive and creepy at the same time. Honestly, it's his eyes. Like, seriously, it's like an ocean that you just want to dive in. It's like so big and so blue, you just can't.
The main character perpetuates the whole naive final girl stereotype. Jackson was a bit creepy from the beginning. Maybe sure, it was banter, but shouldn't we all know how to talk to strangers by now? I mean, okay, maybe it was a joke, but joking about killing your parents when your name is inspired by Jack the Ripper can be a bit worrying.
No, I haven't gone by Jack since I was 10 years old. Last name's Ripner.
Jack Ripner. Jack the... Oh.
There you go.
Okay. That wasn't very nice of your parents.
No, that's what I told him before I killed him.
Jack must somehow also be a superhuman because he reaches her house shortly after he does, despite having been stabbed in the neck. Overall, it's a good film, it's a good watch, but 30% chance I'll skip it.
Breakfast on Pluto is about a trans woman named Kin, and it's about her journey to find who her real mother was. Kin was abandoned as a baby and grew up in a past school, and she somehow ended up on a journey to find the Phantom Lady, her mother who was swallowed up whole by the city.
The story of Kitten is actually based on a book by Peter McKay. In the book, Kitten's story is full of explicit details of her sexual escapades. However, the movie doesn't even show Kitten kissing anyone. Why the heck not?
Okay, it's not the most faithful adaptation, but it helps with accessibility and it helps spread the message of acceptance as well. The movie overall is really coherent and is a beautiful and fun story and it's rather well acted. There was actually buzz about the role possibly bringing Cillian Murphy to the Academy Awards nomination. And in the end, the film won a lot of awards, but mostly in Europe. Watching this film was like reading a fairy tale, honestly. The title card presents itself as a story that's separated by chapters, which is unlike most movies that you'd be used to watching where it wants you to be immersed into the world itself. It's as if you were plunged into a fantasy book and you were exploring chapter by chapter the world within. I don't have a lot to say about this movie except it was a joy to watch Kim being so adventurous, so free, and just letting her imagination run wild throughout her own journey. Sunshine's one of those movies that helped Cillian Murphy break through the international scenes. There are a bunch of YouTubers that actually talk about this film in depth, other YouTubers such as Film Comics Explain, Cinema Wins, and Stories of Old, and their videos are much better at highlighting the genius of the film. It might seem to be just another sci-fi film, but the underlying subtext and the themes, they're honestly just done so skillfully, and if you blink, you just might miss it. Yes, there are a few more questions that needs to be answered.
Like, how the heck did Captain Pinbacker survive 7 years, is all burned up, and still manages to overpower a healthiest human being? It also doesn't really make sense how Kappa manages to stand right in front of the sun and is not being burned right away. But it does make a great visual metaphor.
Yeah, but the film is science fiction for a reason. I mean, heck, they even brought Brian Cox, an OBE physicist, to advise on the project. There are some scientific inaccuracies, of course, but they don't affect the themes of the film at all, nor the underlying messages. The visuals are so stunning, the score is stunning as well. It's just, this film is so underrated. Like, People say Danny Boyle will likely end up being more celebrated posthumously. I wish she would be appreciated much more sooner.
Watching Detectives is probably one of the bad Cillian Murphy movies. It's fun, but it is bad. It just really doesn't make sense. Lucido's character, Violet, is a weird, quirky, psychopathic manic pixie dream girl. And they don't even do it properly.
I mean, at least she didn't disappear. In the end, it was a happy ending for Cillian Murphy's character.
But it doesn't make sense. Who will hire actors and scare the heck shit out of their potential partner? Personally, Violet's crossed a few lines, and I would have yeeted out of there.
What's in your mind?
After he leaves, we'll go out and switch the DVDs so that they're all in the wrong boxes.
That could take all night.
Well, it would only take a second to throw a rock through the window, smart guy. Put something really dirty in here. Good idea.
Also, why would an underground casino bouncer believe that a prop gun is a real gun? You're working in illegal business and you can't even differentiate a real gun and a toy gun? What?
I mean, I'll give you that. But honestly, if you just turn off your brain, this movie's really fun. I mean, you get to freaking see Cillian Murphy's freaking Rockstar, man. Cillian Murphy basically plays Michael, and he owes money to Perrier, a local crime boss. While trying to get money for the debt, Michael meets his father, who reveals to him that he has cancer and will die soon. Michael, his father, and ex-girlfriend Brenda, whom Michael still has feelings for, then embarks on a heist-like adventure with a little sprinkle of supernatural element inside as well.
It's an enjoyable movie, but it's nothing special really. It's like water. It's good, but it's water.
But it's fizzy water, so it's got that something special. And that something special is heart. And it got a lot of it. I mean, we just watch him and his father reconnect during this almost bigger-than-life situation. It's a good movie to watch, but not really for the younger kids. Peacock is a story about a bank clerk named John Skilpa. He leads a very reserved and secretive life that all changes when a train falls off the rails and almost kills Emma Skilpa, his wife. The plot twist here is that Emma is actually John.
Yeah. It's another one of those split personality type of stories. It's like Norman Bates, but with like one killing. Guy gets traumatized by his overbearing mothers and starts dressing up like her after she dies. However, I'll give it this, it's done quite tastefully. Even if it perpetuates misconceptions of dissociative identity disorder, Cillian Murphy once again delivers on his acting. John and Emma are two distinct characters who have their own personalities. He wore contacts for this lens, and this helped him completely disappear. His blue eyes would not have allowed John Skilpa to stay a wallflower for long.
It would be good for a Friday night. I mean, it got a memorable twist, and the story will stick with you for the weekend. In a good way. Retreat is about a couple who takes a vacation on an uninhabited island where they used to spend holidays at, but this time nothing really goes to plan. The couple played by Cillian Murphy and Danny Noonan recently suffered a miscarriage, and the plan was for them to go back to where their love had bloomed, which was the island. But things take a nosedive super quick when a soldier shows up to their door. And that should be kind of enough for a spoiler because this story does well without it. It's well acted, it's a freaking nice thriller. It's a good Friday night. While the focus is on Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried this time, honestly, Cillian Murphy steals the show. Personally for me. He's a timekeeper that chases them.
Dude, Cillian Murphy in that letter. I will die for it. But he wasn't given much to work with. It's like they're trying to emulate the Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow from Nolan's Batman trilogy. In promo interviews, Cillian Murphy talks about how he tries to bring out the wisdom and experience of a 75 years old in a 25 years old body. You can kind of see it, you can kind of not. It's not Cillian Murphy's acting, he's great, but the materials are just not there. It doesn't really let the actor shine. Instead, it focuses on the chase aspect of the story.
Broken is possibly one of the best movies of 2012. It's such a beautiful story about this little girl called Skunk and her coming of age. She's an 11-year-old diabetic who lives with her father and her older brother Jet in a typical British suburb. One of the neighbors, Rick, gets beat up by another neighbor called Mr. Oswald when one of his girls accused Rick of rape. Rick, however, is innocent and released because the daughter is lying. From there on, Skunk's life sort of just goes downhill, and it's a story about how she gets herself out of the mess she accidentally got entangled in.
It's everything that you will hear Cillian Murphy talks about when he's talking about how he chooses his roles. He likes to explore the drama that comes from conflicts, and he gets to take part of a story that just does that beautifully. Usually I would love to spoil stories, but I believe that this is just one of those stories that you just need to experience and go into it without knowing much. It's beautifully shot, beautifully written, it's realistic, but yet it makes you quite hopeful and so many other emotions.
I have nothing but good things to say about Anthroport. This film is a great war film. The dramatization of the events was done spectacularly. It was tasteful, it was freaking faithful, it was elegant, it was understated and yet so wholesome. The homage to the real life resistance fighters was in good taste, despite the film claiming that this film is about the untold story of the assassination of Hiker. This operation was the subject of several books as well as 6 other films. The 2 leads, Irish actors Cillian Murphy and Jamie Dornan's chemistry are undeniable, despite being at odds against each other most of the time. The 2 portrays 2 great characters who are well-rounded even if we do not know much of their personal lives. After 50 Shades of Grey, there is no doubt that Jamie would want to bring a little more prestige in the best way to his filmography.
This movie's execution is great and all,
Ben Wheatley rules!
but how they got into shooting each other during such an important arm deal is so fucking stupid. Chris, Frank, Steve-O, and Bernie are part of the Irish Republican Army, aka the IRA. You will think that such an important cause would matter more to Steve-O than to win a bar fight argument. It's so fucking stupid. I wanna add that this movie requires prior knowledge toward the Irish, British, and American history, or it becomes very confusing to those who do not have that. And it's frustrating as hell not knowing who is shooting who. I had to get schooled by White because I was complaining about who was how and what was what.
This movie's writing and pacing is really the star here, and also film and execution is quite masterful as well, especially since this is a real-time film. Creator paid a lot of attention to the details and even shot this film chronologically in order to ensure little to no continuity error. The movie was also praised for its phenomenal sound design, having received nominations for Best Sound Mixing and Best Sound Editing from the International Online Cinema Awards. The film won the Thriller Prize Special Mention at Brussels International Festival of Fantasy Films and won the People's Choice Awards at the Toronto International Film Festival. And if you are quite familiar with films, you will understand that the TIFF is as prestigious as the Academy Awards, but for indie films. So that should kind of tell you how good the film is, honestly. Now, the beginning of this film starts on real strong. The CIA officer Cillian Murphy plays Lenny Miller received 9 boxes containing the heads of the undercover agents in Russia. Now, that is honestly so hardcore and so fucked up.
Sadly, the movie doesn't get back to the level of hardcore awesome moments anymore. It becomes a rather cliched honeypot spy movie. It is, however, a fun watch. The film is supposedly set in the 1980s. However, it is plagued with numerous goods. Items such as laptops, hard drives, internet, etc. did not exist yet by the time the events were to be taking place. The costumes and clothing were also too modern for the time as well.
Newcomer Sasha Luz, who plays Anna, manages to stand on her own despite working with veterans. I mean, no doubt that her modeling has helped her capture our attention on the screen. Now, Cillian Murphy is rather great as Lenny Miller. Honestly, he's just really good at portraying American characters in general. It is a little bit suspicious, though, that a CIA agent would care so much about a double agent, a Russian double agent on top of that. Now, the KGB romance is a little bit more believable. As an agent of any spy agency, it would be extremely dumb and stupid to get yourself involved romantically or sexually with anyone inside or outside the agency. But then again, it is a Luc Besson film. If you know his films, it's all just about the journey, so any details that take away from the stakes or drama, you will most likely ignore it, and you can honestly see it here.
The movie was bashed mainly for being basic and having a lot of continuity errors. It seems that Luc Besson spent more time stylizing the fights and making sure that the cool factors are up to 100. But because of that, the film looks really good, and if you are coming to see the movie to have a good time, you probably will have a really good time. Also, I know that it was basically rated to basically establish the stakes and let the viewers know what kind of movie or story it is. But why is it that a well-trained Russian spy that can kill 10 or 20 people at the same time can't even tell that the gun was unloaded?
And those were Cillian Murphy's lesser-known films. We did miss a few films, but sometimes the movie don't make enough money or revenue to justify release on stream. Legally or not. And that's a wrap! Please do not get offended by anything we have said. This is for entertainment purposes only, and we are merely actors who are sharing an opinion.